welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I have to confess I am just back from London. Mark and I have enjoyed a very nice lunch with Esmeralda Kleinriesink. So Esmeralda, thank you for lunch today. And what this does mean is that this puzzle solve, if indeed I can solve it, will be powered partially by the power of gin and tonic. And that is a little bit worrying for all concerned. But the eagle-eyed among you will note that this is not a sudoku today. I have been tasked by none other than Udakos, the absolutely stupendously good solver and setter of puzzles, with having a look at a puzzle called Aqraf by CJK. Now this is, you can see, it's definitely not a Sudoku. I think it's a hybrid of two different puzzle types called Aqre and Araf from a quick reading of the rules. But it's quite exciting, this, because CJK, the author, I happen to know. I know two things about CJK that I will share with you. The first is that we actually did a CJK puzzle on the channel a month or two ago, and it's been one of our most popular videos of recent times. It was this chess puzzle where basically you had to use some strange rules to work out the current position in a game of chess. It was absolutely fascinating. A really, really amazing hybrid puzzle. If I think I'm right in saying it was quite a challenging puzzle as well. But anyway, the other thing I know about CJK is that it's the acronym of Christian König. And Christian went on from his triumph with the chess puzzle to perform in the World Puzzle Championship, which happened a couple of weeks ago. And I think I'm right in saying it was Christian's first time at the World Puzzle Championship. And I think he came 6th, which is absolutely amazing. For a rookie, as they call them, to come 6th in the World Puzzle Championship. Basically, that tells us that today we are dealing with an IQ that is quite stupendous. And I will read you the rules of the puzzle in a moment. We can marvel at what Christian has created. But yeah, this will be a special one. Udakos's recommendations are not lightly won, so this will be rather marvellous, I'm sure. Now, what do I need to tell you about before I read you the rules? Not much today. Just a reminder, the Kickstarter, we are running out of days, so if you want to get a copy of Cracking the Cryptic's Greatest Hits Volume 2, please check it out. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen right there. We've got the Gas Pack, which is available in on Android, on the App Store and on Steam. The genuinely approachable Sudokus. It's the best way to learn how to do these rather vicious puzzles we sometimes have to wrestle with on the channel. So yeah, get your teeth stuck into those and you'll find it makes all the difference. And then of course we've got Patreon, where we've got this incredible Sudoku hunt, The Labours of Hercules. And I've got more names to read out, so very well done to the following: John McGrath, Eric Propfee, Melissa Hernandez, Charlie Pugh, Emily Tinney, John Gemmell, Scott Lane, Johannes Verelst. Now Johannes, I did read your name out the other day, I remember. Matt McCurry, Balin Rago, Chris Remo, Hendrik and Alex, Rob Driscoll, Peyton Lee. Right, a neural nexus. Very well done, neural nexus, for using your neural nexus to solve all those puzzles. I suppose, yeah, the clue's in the name. We should have expected you to manage to solve them all. And then there's just a couple of birthdays today. So Clayton from your partner Caroline, and also Luella, who's turned 19 today, and hails from right down in Canberra, where you're at university. So Luella, your mum Michelle got in touch with us, and I hope that you have an absolutely stupendous birthday. I'm just thinking about the time difference. I think it's right, because I think your birthday is the 9th of November. I'm recording this on the 8th, so with the time difference to Australia, I think you are effectively in the future, and you should be enjoying your cake right now. All that said and done, let me read you the rules of CJK's new puzzle, and we shall see what we've got to do today. Very, very simple rules. Divide the grid into regions of orthogonally connected cells. Orthogonally connected, let's just deal with that, because we do sometimes get questions about what orthogonally means. Very simple. Those two cells are orthogonally connected because they share an edge. These two cells are not orthogonally connected because they only share a corner. We could make them orthogonally connected by adding that cell. Now those 3 cells are orthogonally connected. So orthogonally connected is just a posh way of saying connected by an edge. Now each region, so we've got to divide into regions of orthogonally connected cells, and each region must contain exactly 2 numbers and have a size that lies between the 2 numbers in the circles. So if we joined the 99 and the 30 together, then the overall region that we'd have to build would have to have at least 31 cells in it and not more than 98 cells. And this grid is a 9 by 9 by the looks of things. So there are 81 cells in the puzzle. So that 99 is instantly making me think it's something of a joke, because we can't possibly get to 99 cells or even 98. Anyway, so we've got to build some regions. We've got to put 2 circles in each region. And then, right, here's the kicker, which is I think what gives rise to the portmanteau word, which is the title, which is that no region may contain a line of more than 3 consecutive cells horizontally or vertically. So this is sort of anti-connect 4 we've got to do. And I think this comes from Eric Fox's logic problem called Aqre. Now, if you've ever done an Aqre puzzle, and we have done them on the channel from time to time, the idea of that is that you can never have sort of 3 cells or 4 cells in a row in any direction. So both of those patterns would be illegal. And that seems to be the case here. So so this is just wrong. My example was wrong. When I connected the 99 to the 30, the problem with that in this puzzle is that I've managed to put 8 cells in a horizontal line there. So what we'd have to do to make this work is to do some wiggling. And if we wiggle, actually it's a bit tricky to wiggle. Let's do that and then delete that and then put that in. So that would I think be a legitimate way of connecting the 99 to the 30, although obviously this would fail the test of the size of this region being between 30 cells and 99 cells. So this is still going to be wrong, but that gives you the idea of how the puzzle should work. Now do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, what am I seeing here? Well, I'm seeing lots of 1s. So we can immediately say, well, yeah, okay, what you can't do is connect 2 1s to each other, because here is a knowledge bomb from Cracking the Cryptic. There is no difference between 1 and 1. So we couldn't, we can't make a region that's of size 1.5. So the 1s are going to have to connect to the other numbers, 3 of which are 99s and therefore effectively unbounded in terms of their size. Right, so, well, okay, there is a little deduction we're getting here then. So we can't connect the 6 to the 30, which would have been quite an attractive thing to do, other than these 1s dotted around the place. And the reason we can't connect the 6 to the 30 is if we do, we'll end up having to connect 2 1s together, and that's not going to work. Now, okay, so if we have to attach a 6 to a 1, the maximum size of that region is 5. So this 6, I want to say either connects here or here, because it can't get to this one, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, no, it can't get to that one. So if we connect those up, the shortest orthogonal trip we could make would be a 6-cell trip, which would be too large. So either this connects to this one, or it connects to that one. And actually it looks very tempting to do that, doesn't it? I mean, if we do that, let me just have a stare at this for a moment. If we do that, we've then got 1 more potential cell to play with in the yellow, because we could make this 5 cells large. Oh, hang on, I can't do that because that's 4 in a row. Sorry, I'm talking absolute nonsense. I'm already forgetting the rules. So, the gin and tonic is underpowering at the moment. We could do... I was going to say we could do that, but I don't like that either, because that's going to cause me to have 4 in a row in column 1 once I try and... what I'm thinking is, if I do that, this all has to be the same region, because every region we make has to have 2 circles in it. So this one can't just live on its own in the corner and be Billy no mates. It's got to be Billy mates and join up with 2 circles. And in doing that, to get it out of here, it's going to be taking too many. So this is a very scientific way of proving that maybe this has to connect to this. Let me just think about this a bit more. So if I allow sort of 2 lanes of exit in columns 1 and 2, do I then get myself out of trouble? I don't think I do, really. I'm very skeptical. I'm not 100%. I wouldn't put my life on it at this point. Now, normally, when we put deductions into our grids on the channel, we would put our lives on them because we prove them by deep logic. But would I put my life on this and this not being connected? I'm sort of 95% sure, because I can't see a way of doing it. But I'm not yet 100% sure. I just don't think it's possible. But if let's just think about the alternative, which is, if it is true that those connect, how do they connect? Do they have to go along the perimeter? That was my yeah, they must go along the perimeter, because if we try and connect them any other way, these 3 cells will be isolated, or however many cells it is that are trapped in the corner. These cells could not have 2 circles in them. So, okay, that is interesting. So if it's true that these 2 don't connect to each other, I have to connect around the perimeter. And is that going to give me some deep deduction that we can then take forward into the puzzle? I'm not sure. That 1 actually looks like it might be even more constrained than this 6. Because that 1 in the corner down here, it can't directly connect with the 99s that are sort of bounding its region, or it's the area it's living in. And and that's because if we try and make that yellow and connect it directly, then that's 4 in a row, and that's not allowed under the rules. So there must be. So if this is the same colour as the 1, then we have to draw a ring around. Yeah. So I'm not explaining this very well, but if we do try and make these the same colour, then because these can't both be yellow, or we'd have 4 yellows in a row, at least one of these is something else. Let's make it red. And this red has not got 2 circles. So it would need a 1. It would need a 1 and something else, yet still allow this yellow to sort of wander around the world. It would have to look something like this. Obviously, I'm ignoring all these 4 in a row problems. Although that's actually interesting, isn't it? That's clearly not right, but it's not a million miles away from being potentially possible. Although no, now I've got the wrong count of 1s and 9. I could connect I could connect that one to that one, but this one needs a 1. Yeah, okay. So that also looks deeply suspiciously wrong, because I can't see how I can create a region between the 1 and the 99 that can have 2 circles in it, and because it seems it'll have to be those 2 circles or these 2 circles, and to ring this circle I have to come to the boundary, and in doing that, am I not isolating the wrong number of circles in the bottom of the grid? Okay, but again, it's another of these things where I'm sort of learning about the puzzle, but not necessarily learning anything useful, because all I'm actually learning there, if that deduction is correct, which it looked like it was, all I'm learning is that is not in the same region as that. which is probably quite a mild deduction. Oh, and in fact, look at this. Look at this. If those are in the same region, I think it's different down here. Because that region could come round here somehow. Pick up, hang on, what was I thinking? It could pick up those. Obviously, I'm ignoring the 4 in a row thing again. And then that sort of thing. Oh no, that's going to be... Oh, well, hang on. No, I can get out by doing it differently. I could do it like this. Although, am I going to bump into that 1 then? Oh no, I could... Oh no, it's tricky. No, I still think it might be possible. Something. Although, I'm very conscious that I feel at the moment like I'm... What's that line from The Commitments? It's probably a rude line, so I better not recite it. But yes, I feel like I'm improvising at the moment. We're using jazz. I'm playing jazz, whereas I should be doing something that's a little bit more classical in order to actually prove things. Yeah, but anyway, so the point is that if there is something like that possible, I have got the correct count now of circles, at least in the bottom right. Right, so what I'm going to do now is delete everything. This has been a dreadful start. I've got nowhere. I've got nowhere apart from possibly concluding these aren't in the same region and probably concluding that those join up like this. So, what on earth am I meant to do here? Is it something to do with the size? It can't be the size, because 99's obviously been chosen by Christian to be so ludicrously silly that it's not relevant. You know, I don't think there's going to be something meta about the grid. I've got to put 1, 2, I've got to put five different shapes in the grid. I've got to put 5 different shapes in the grid. Ah, okay. So maybe I've got to think about this a bit differently. Because, right, my feeling is, and this could be total and utter nonsense, my feeling is that it's going to be quite hard to divide the perimeter of this puzzle into, oh, this is going to be impossible to prove though, into regions that, if I'm only allowed 5 areas in the grid, but I can't have 3 in a row round the perimeter ever. I can have 3, I can't have 4 in a row around the perimeter. Then I've got to have, so those 5 regions are going to have to touch the perimeter a lot more times than 5. I'm not even sure that that's a very sensible thing to say. So what I'm sort of thinking is, imagine that you had a whole series of regions. I'm ignoring the circles for a moment. I just had a whole series of regions like this and like this. So that's never going to work, because I've allowed each of my 5 regions, and I know there are 5 regions, to touch the perimeter only once here. And you can see that that's never going to be enough. I've got stretches. The only thing that might work is down there with that 2, well, and that up there with that 3-cell stretch. But there's so many 4-cell stretches here. It's just I need the 5 regions to interact with the border more than 5 times. Hang on a minute. So what's the way to think about this? I've got 5 regions. So what's the minimum number of times 5 regions can interact with a border? That's going to be like an archery target, is what I think that's going to look like. Something like this. So if you've got an archery target, that is maximally broken, isn't it? Maximally broken just from the point of view, let's change the colour of that so it's a bit darker. Just from the point of view that in this grid, I've managed to only get the perimeter touched by one region. And obviously, there's going to be great long stretches of horizontal and vertical digits that are 4 in a row. So we've got to maximally break this to find out what the restriction is. So how do you maximally break an archery target in one of these puzzles? I have no clue at all. I'm just going to start again. How do we work out what the most number of times? Now, all the mathematicians out there are going to be so angry with me for not knowing. There's going to be a theorem or something that says if you have 5 regions on a plane, the maximum number of times that the regions can interact with the boundary is 7 or is 12. And unfortunately, I don't know what that is. And that puts me at a big disadvantage because I don't even know how to go about thinking about this. So let me think. I know that I can't have... I know I've got to get regions that hit more than once. That is certainly true, because if I only have once, then it only interacts 5 times. So if I do... Oh, but there's... Right, that's weird. That's weird. So there's always going to be one region... Oh, yes, that is right. I think that's true. Right, there's always going to be one region that does only hit the boundary once. And that's because what I was trying to do there was I was just drawing... In fact, let me draw a bigger loop. It might be more instructive. Let's draw that loop in and say that this is a region in this puzzle. Well, if this is a region... And that does, you can see, it hits the boundary twice, which is great because I'm increasing the number of times the boundary is interacted with. And that's what we need to do. But if I do that, what about this space that's left behind in here? Now, either that space all belongs to the same region, in which case the blue space only hits it once, which is dreadful, because we don't want to do that. I need this boundary to be divided up as much as it can be. Or I could do this and put another shape inside, where this one again reaches a count of this. The yellow one hits the boundary twice again, but the blue one, whatever's left as this little stub in the middle, still has a count of 1. This one cannot be subdivided. So however I crisscross the grid with regions, I'm always going to run out of... I'm going to get to a region that's going to only hit the boundary once. So one of my 4 regions, one of my 5 regions can only ever contribute 1 boundary. And that's already feels like it's a limiting factor. So if we did have this arrangement, and then I did another one where I had... So now I'm up to 4 different regions, and I've managed to get the boundary interacted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, but I'm going to get another region on the other side of green now. That again, just imagine all the white square was a region in this puzzle. That's only touching the boundary once. It's this contiguous sequence. So is that always true? Sorry, I'm going to start again. I'm sort of trying to learn about how this puzzle works. I know I'm doing it incredibly slowly, but you have to bear with me because there's no other way. There's no other way of thinking about it. So let's try and think about this in terms of the corner then. So what I'm trying to do is the opposite of an archery target. So if I had that cell in the corner, and then this corner region could be as big as we want, but we're going to, this is the equivalent of my blue region, i.e. it's the region that only touches the boundary once, and we know there must be one of those. And now I'm going to ring this with, let's make it a slightly bigger region. Let's ring that with a yellow region. And that touches the boundary twice, here and here, because I'm saying that this is not yellow. And then I'm going to ring this again with another region. Let's make it a thinner region this time, just in case that yields me any ideas. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so I'm now thinking that the maximum number of interactions with the border we can generate is probably 8. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could do that again, 6, 7, and then my white space gives me 8. Now, can I get more than that somehow? If instead of blue doing that, we let blue go off on a spur as well. So now blue is hitting the boundary 3 times. So this is a super boundary finding region. Now what's that saying? Now I've got 3 regions. I can have 2 more. Yeah, okay. So that's not improved matters at all. Because although I've increased the count of blue, in effect, I reduced the count of purple. Remember what purple looked like? It was like that, or something like that. It cut the boundary twice. But now, by forcing blue to the edge, the two regions I've got left are this white region. I'll make that purple this time, and that only sees the boundary once. And this region here, which only sees the boundary once. So by creating spurs off this blue region, I don't increase the count of regions or interactions with the boundary I can make. And that logic must be the same. If I'd drawn a spur off yellow, it's going to be the same result. So that's truly peculiar. That is truly peculiar. So what we've now established is that I can have, let me think about this now. So now I've got my boundary. This is my boundary. And the maximum number of times, yes, okay, here's the way to think about it. The maximum number of colour changes in the boundary is 8. Because I can have the 5 different regions hit the boundary, and they may hit the boundary and then continue a little bit. But there can only be 8 different stretches of colour in the perimeter. Now, that feels like it's not. It actually feels like it's not enough. Because what I'm worried about now is that obviously, in putting in my 8 stretches of colour, I can't go more than 3 at a time. Oh, I see. But if I have that actually, yeah. Hang on. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 3 lots of 12 is 30. Done it. Right. Okay. This is absolutely, well, it's 2 things. It's utterly beautiful and really, really cool, because it seems gin and tonic has got us to an answer here. So what I'm suddenly realising is that this corner, this little 1 to 6 thing that we noted we could do, If we do that, we actually do manage to fill in 5 cells of perimeter, which is quite good, given that we are only allowed 4 in a row in a horizontal or vertical direction. To get 5 in any contiguous sequence of colour around the perimeter is a good result. Now you can see that we can't improve on that anymore. That is the maximum length of a contiguous colour you could ever have in the perimeter. Because if we extend blue by 1 this way, that's 4 in a row. If we extend blue by 1 this way, that's 4 in a row. So this 5-cell sequence is the maximum. So what I did then was I thought in my head, okay, let's do that. Let's do this in the corner, that in that corner, and that in that corner. So that gives us 20 cells of the perimeter that I've managed to fill with 4 different stretches of colour. Now this stretch of colour, and I can't increase the size of any of these coloured regions, and indeed what I'm left with is stretches of three colours here. Let's give these all their own colour. I'll give this one purple, and then this one needs to be something else. So obviously green cannot grow in either direction. If it was to grow, it would reach size 4. So in fact, this was the way to do this, I think. Well, or was it? This is the only arrangement of the perimeter that allows the perimeter to be divided into 8 coloured sequences. And we know, in fact I'm starting to understand, I think, how Christian has set this puzzle. I think what he's done is to say, so he knows somehow that five regions on a plane can only hit the border in eight different times, and then somehow he's thought, oh, I could use Araf rules to force this pattern. But it's quite amazing, isn't it? So it's taken me a long time to do it, but I think we can now state, rather than just pontificate, we can state that this is how the 5 regions in this puzzle interact with the perimeter. Now the problem we've got here, no, that's not the problem. A problem we've got here is that I have got absolutely no idea what this means. Well, okay, it's quite reassuring as well that this 1 is not the same colour as this 99. It's not the same colour as this 99. Oh, that one has already got 2 circles in it. Okay, yes, so what I must have to do... Oh, no, this is lovely. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, for goodness sake, that is beautiful. Right. That 1 needs to connect with a number. Now, because we know that this, whatever this region is, it's a different colour to this region for sure, and it's a different colour from that region for sure, this does not join to the 99s in these 2 positions. You can see that very simply. If you try and make purple the same as orange, that creates a 6-cell string. That's never going to work. So what is the high digit that goes with this 1? Well, it must be that 30. So that 30 is orange. But if that 30 is orange, that feels it feels like it's I've cut off a great swathe of the grid. However these oranges connect. Have I isolated these 1s from too many different things? I might have just broken the puzzle. Oh no, okay, so I go across the top of the 1s. Right, okay. So yes, this 99 needs a 1, and it must be this 1 or this 1. And this 99 needs a 1, it must be this 1 or this 1. Now, is it possible... Right. This is now getting so ridiculously clever. It's It's one of these puzzles where you just think, how is someone clever enough to set this? It's so ridiculously brilliant. Look, I know that these colours here are in some order. This black 99 needs one of these ones. This purple 99 needs one of these ones. But if I do it in this order, let me show you. If I do it with that one being purple and this one being black, well, however these connect, doesn't matter. But then this has got to come round here and connect the blacks together. In fact, let's just do it. Ignore the 4 in a row problems. But hopefully it is crystal clear that in doing that, this orange is most certainly penned in. There is no way for it to get out. And it wouldn't matter how I drew these orange lines together. There is no way to connect these up. And that's telling us that actually this one must be the black. This must be a black region cell, and this must be a purple region cell. And therefore, if we imagine these as connected, and we imagine these as connected, and it doesn't matter how we connect them, we're going to have to learn that as we do it. But how is this orange going to connect there? Well, it's got to go through this sort of little alleyway that's been created between black and purple. That is the only way it can do it. And that is 3 cells in a row. So that means we can bound it. We will bound it using the power of lines, maybe. Can I do it like that? Yes, I can. So we can do it like that, like that, like that. And therefore we can... Right, so let me just think about this. So this is going to connect here or here. It's going to poke out at the top, where I think it's going to have to go that way. Although the reason I'm slightly hesitant there is, do I actually know anything about the colours of green and red and grey? I know blue is finished. Oh, I tell you what I can do then. Blue is finished because it's of size 5 and it can't grow anymore. So I'm going to ring blue. Oh dear, now I'm getting stuck. I think, what do I want this to be? What do I think it's going to be? It's not, right, green is not purple. We're going to be having these sentences today. Green is not purple. And that's because, let's make green purple for a moment. You can see that in joining up these, even if I don't do it directly and wiggle around, I'm creating a great wall that's going to prevent this 30 from ever connecting to this 1, because in joining the purples together, somehow, some way, there's going to be a wall of purple down the middle of the grid. So that region there, I can't remember what colour it was before. What colour was it before? It was... Oh, these are the things that are green. It was green. So this green region is not purple. And it's not red. And it's not... Oh, I don't know if it's that one. It might be that one. But we've got to allocate it to a shape that's got numbers in it. And it's not purple. And it's not blue. It can't possibly be yellow. No, it's not yellow for the same reason it's not purple. If we connect those together, this is isolated. So this is either orange or black. All right, I'm going to change its colour then. That is orange or black. It's probably... I want to say... Oh, no, do I... I was going to say I think it's black. But maybe it can be orange. I'm not sure now. I sort of want that to be... It feels like that's going to be black. But what? Okay, what's red now? So red... Oh, well, again, red is not purple. Because if we make that purple, however I connect this purple to this purple, hopefully it's clear that this 30 will be on the right-hand side of that purple wall, and this 1 will be on the left-hand side, and there's no way of getting through it. So this is not purple. Now, can it be yellow? That is the next question. If it's yellow, we know this is not yellow. But So in joining yellow together, we'd have the 30 on the wrong side. So it's not yellow. And it's not blue. Right, so oh, I see. Right, this is good. So this is either orange or black. And if it's either orange or black, remember, in fact, this is a sensible thing for me to do so I don't get confused about my colouring. Look, we can draw all of these lines in. The colour on the right-hand side here is different from this colour. Yes, this is it. Right, so if I make that orange and this black, you can see that's broken, because in joining that orange to that orange, this black will be on the right-hand side of the line, that black will be on the left-hand side of the line. That does not work. So this has got to be black. Oh, whoopsie, I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm trying to correct this. This is black, this is orange. Now, how does this connect to this? Does that mean that this has got to be black? There's no way that the black comes round there. No. You can see if I try and make the black come round the right hand side to join up with its friends, it's isolating all sorts of things in the middle of its region. So that is black. That is black. How can that not be black? The answer is it is black, because if that was not black, what could it be? Well, let's try orange. So if all those were orange, you can see, I think, that in connecting this orange now to that, we're isolating these blacks on the left-hand side of the line with these blacks on the right-hand side of the line. So it's this sort of logic we now need to do to get through the puzzle. So that's got to be black. Now that's beautiful, because that means that we've got a 3 in a row possibility. So this cell needs to not be black. And I sort of feel like that cell now must be black, but maybe that's just me having wishful thinking. If that's orange, it's impossible for that to be orange. It just is. It's the same problem again. If we connect it round there and then down there, this is on the wrong side. If I connect it round here and then down here, it's still on the wrong side. So this is definitely not orange. It can't be anything else. There's no way this could be purple. If we try and make that purple, it's hopefully very clear that this black region is on the left side of the purple, and that's no good. So that is also black. So does that mean that that's black, or is that therefore... I think an awful lot of these cells on the left-hand side have to be black. If that was orange now, what does that do? No, that still doesn't work, because to connect this to this, I either go through there and isolate the orange, or I don't do that and I go around the top and I isolate the purple and the orange. So this is definitely black, and that's great, because now this cell is not black, because of the 3 we've already got 3 in a row. So we've got to put that in. And we've got to say, presumably this is orange, is it? Now this is where I'm going to get somewhat discombobulated by realising that this can be some other colour. Okay, I can't see that immediately, but I can see that's orange, because this needs to get over here. That's orange as well, isn't it? There's a lot of orange going on. This colour, what's that colour? Because that's not black because of this line. So, it can't be purple, can it? If that's purple, no, because then when I connect the purples up, I've got orange on the right and orange on the left. That won't work. So that cell is orange. But now what's worrying me is that something has to get between these oranges and these oranges. Because, especially in this row, that looks very difficult. Maybe this can come down. Because I can't have 5 oranges in a row. Now if purple goes up there, that's not going to work again. The moment purple hits this row, let me just check that doesn't work. Doesn't work, because obviously in connecting the purple up to the base of the grid, we're creating a wall, and we can never get this out. So it's not possible to put purple up here. So the only thing that can go up here and interrupt the flow of orange is black. And the only way of getting black here is if that is black. That means that's orange. That creates 3 in a row. So that's got to be black. That's got to be not orange. That's as far as I'm prepared to go. So look, we get this drawn in. Now that might have to be black as well, which would be tremendous if true. Because that would have to come down here. That would put all sorts of pressure on this as well. What is this? If it's purple... No, oh, actually, could it be purple? Maybe it can be this time. No, clearly it can't. No, because once we complete purple in any sort of direction like this, again, this orange here, all these orange cells can't get to the left side of the grid, so that's total nonsense. So again, this does have to be black, which means that has to be black. Now this orange is not connected to its friends, so that has to be orange. Don't make 4 in a row orange, so that has to be black. This is just brilliant. This is quite simply staggering. That you can create puzzles like this. And they are actually solvable by sort of a layman who hasn't got a mathematical degree in region division. I cannot tell you how much pleasure this gives me. I'd love to do these sorts of puzzles more often. Now, having said that, I'm very far from finished here, but I do think we're doing this the right way. This orange has to get through to connect here. This purple has to come down because it needs to connect. That allows us to put in another wall cell. That's a wall cell. This orange needs to extend. This must surely now be orange. It can't be anything else, can it? If we make that purple. No, that just isolates the orange. Right, that's orange because you can see it's not black. Oh, okay, so now there's an interesting question about those 5 cells, look. Those 5 cells cannot all be orange. So does that mean this sticks out here? Probably. If that sticks out there, this has got to be orange. Something's got to stick in down here as well, otherwise this is a whole sequence. In fact, you'd have to, if that's black, you have to do that, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can see anything easy as a result of that deduction anyway. So let's try and find something easier. I tell you what I should be thinking about, presumably, is this. I've not even allocated. This colour is not yellow. We've just proved it's not orange. Or we didn't just prove it. We proved that the moment we knew this was orange, because this has to be a different colour to this. So it's not. So it has to be purple, does it? I don't think it can possibly. It can't be black, because that's either isolating this orange or it's isolating the whole of the top of the grid from the whole of the bottom of the grid. So that is bizarrely purple, which is actually, that's really surprising. That almost feels like I've broken it again. Okay, I mean, I can't prove it's broken, but that feels quite awkward to me. So that means we're basically, our structure is going to be something like that. A yellow region penned in the bottom right of the grid. Actually, no, that works, doesn't it? You can sort of see how this might work. Orange can connect here. Orange can connect down here. Oh, what's that colour then? That's a perhaps interesting question, is it? Can that be black? Let me think about that. If that's black, it's not that way because the purple's isolated, so it would have to be this way somehow. I don't like that. No, that's not going to work.
Because remember, from our first connectivity point, we needed this orange to come up through here, and now it's prevented from doing it. And you can see the problem is that now when I connect purple down here, this orange is isolated. So that cell is not black, but it's not orange. If it's yellow, which is still a possibility, no, it's not. The purples, you can see this purple and this purple can't touch. So that is purple, which sort of makes sense. It felt like it was going to be purple, didn't it? And now that must be purple, he says assertively. If that is not purple, what's going on with the world? Let's try and think about that. If that is yellow, yellow joins here. No, that's clearly isolating purples to the left from purples to the top. So it's definitely not purple. If it's orange, however we draw that, something's isolated. Yeah, so that is purple. But that means that is not purple. The weird thing is that you keep getting... You find a surprise. There's like a cell that immediately looks to me like it can't possibly be anything but purple. But then the cell next to it has to be something different from this cell, has to be something different from purple. Okay, so what have I learned now? What have I learned now? And why is that a 30 and not a 99? That's weird. I have given no consideration at all. Why is that 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that being 30 is preventing me from taking more than 5 more orange cells. Well, how is, on top of the basics that I need to close the region? That's so strange. That is so strange. Right. Okay, but my problem now is I'm not really sure. Just, at first blush, where is the weak point in the puzzle now? Where is the weak point in the puzzle? I don't know. I don't know. I can see that I've got to divide, I've got to put some colours into both of these positions. Okay. Here's a small point, I think. The colour that interrupts the orangification of column 3, I think is not black. Because if that cell's black, we can't run orange through here, which we know is necessary. If that cell's black, exactly the same problem. If that cell's black, exactly the same problem. So it's not a black cell, it's probably a purple cell. It must be a purple cell, because if it's a yellow cell, if I get yellow over here, I can see it doesn't work. I'm just trying to say it in a way that's there's no way to get purple to connect down here and orange out. It's just impossible. I'm just wondering if there's a more beautiful way of noting that. And it might not even be that important a point to note that there is a purple in here. Why is that very helpful, if indeed it is? Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not the point. So again, okay, but I've got to interrupt the orangification here as well. So perhaps it is this cell. I suspect this cell is poking here. So maybe that's what I need to prove or disprove. Now if this does poke here, orange has to come down, but then orange is capped out now, isn't it? Because it can't come to this square. So orange would have to go to that square. And therefore what? This doesn't look like it works to me. This doesn't look like it works. It's quite hard to see, this one, but I've got to put some colour in here. Now, what are the options? It's really beautiful. The problem you get with this is that these two purples need to be split up by something. They can't be split up by orange, because these two squares are tantamount, are definitely not. Oh, that one could be orange, actually. This one could be orange. That one can't be orange. So this one has to come out through here. Now, in coming here, you might say, oh, it could be purple. It can't be purple, because then this can't be orange or purple and would have to be yellow, and yellow, once it's connected, isolates the purple. And that doesn't work. So you can't make this purple, which means you've got to make it yellow, and once you make it yellow, you isolate the purple again. That's complicated. Okay, I'm quite sure there is a more beautiful and clever way to do that. But that is my way of doing it, and that means that cell doesn't come here. Now, if that cell doesn't come here, all of a sudden, has that helped? Has that helped? Well, okay. I mean, obviously there's got to be some other colour in there, otherwise we have an orangification problem in column 2. Right, so what I'm going to say now is I think that cell is purple. That's because, remember, I've got to get orange to come up through here and hit this somehow, because we need orange to come through this passageway to connect to the 30. Now, if we were to try and have a yellow cell over here, in any of these three positions, you can instantly see you're cutting off this purple from this purple. So it is purple that's coming into this column, which means there must be a purple in one of those three cells as well. Now, if this was purple, we can never run orange up here. So that's not the purplification cell, which means that's orange. Now, if this was purple, again, in connecting this and this and this, you can see you're isolating this. So that also can't be purple. So that's orange. And then that has to be purple, which means that has to be purple. Don't know about these two yet. But that's now approximately working, isn't it? That looks quite good. He says, without much hope of knowing what's the next. So does that mean that has to be purple, is my next question. If that was well, that cannot be yellow, can it? Because if that's yellow, when I join the yellows up, the purple is definitely isolated. So it's either purple or orange. Now, if it's orange, no, it's just not orange, is it? That's clearly got purple on the left-hand side of it and purple on the right. So that is purple, and but that is interesting, because again, we get one of these occasions where I sort of thought this would be purple as well, but it can't be. So what is the nature of this cell? Well, I think it looks like it can be yellow. In fact, it does look like it can be yellow very naturally. And then purple could come round here and go across the top. Can it be orange? If that's orange, then... Oh, I don't think it... Oh, it can be orange. Ooh, that's horrible. Oh, yeah, look. I don't quite know how this joins up here, but what's to stop this purple poking out there and doing that and connecting here? Nothing at all. Ah, you rotten thing. So that can be orange or yellow. How do we decide which of those is likely? It feels... Oh, unless it's the 30, is it? Oh, that would be magnificent if that's the case. Let me think about that. If that cell's orange... If that cell's orange... Well, I definitely can't connect the orange up here, can I? Because that would create 5 in a row. So the orange is going to have to connect up here, something like this, but that won't work because that's 5 in a row this way. So somehow this orange connects up here. But how many cells did we have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I can do 4 more cells to connect these up. But I mustn't make... This is it. This is it. This whole 30 clue is about this cell and stopping this cell from being orange. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Row 8, column 5, and the relationship at this stage of the puzzle only to this 30 clue is absolutely critical because I'm on a count of 25. I've got 4 cells to play with. And I have to connect this to something up here that's orange. Well, I can do it, but given I've only got 4 cells to play with, I can't wiggle enough. If I could wiggle enough, I could do that. That would do it absolutely perfectly. But that's 6 cells. If I go here, 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 that would do it. Because I was assuming this was orange. So I could do it. That was quite a good way. That was sort of efficient, wasn't it? That. So there, I've managed to do it with 5 more cells. But that takes me to the count of 30. And I've got to be below 30. It's got to be between 1 and 30. So this is it. This is it. I don't know what that is yet, but I know that for sure that cannot be orange because of the 30 clue. So that has to be yellow, which is therefore... I think that's probably got to be yellow, but maybe actually maybe not. No, maybe not. Don't know. Oh, hang on. That's got to not be. Oh, what's that colour then? I hadn't spotted this, but there's a chance for 4 in a row there of purple. So we need to stop that happening. So what's this cell? If that's orange, no. Okay, this is not orange. Again, a little bit complicated, but not too bad. If that's orange, you have to orangify those 2. Again, you can't connect this up here without it taking at least 5 cells, which we know incorrects the count. In fact, look, it can't be orange for a simple reason. If that's orange, that's 4 in a row. And if that's orange and it goes that way, orange is too large. So that's yellow. Now, if that's yellow, yellow's got to get out, so it goes here. Now, purple cannot connect to the purple there because this yellow's on the wrong side of the line. So the purple has to connect up here and now somehow across here. I still don't know whether this cell is in what colour that cell is, but look, I've got more drawing we can do. Oh yeah, that's three purples in a row, so this is something else. Yeah, okay, and the something else that this is yellow. Because again, if this was orange now, I'd connect orange up here, and you might say, well, that's fine, I can get purple to a touch over here, but you can't once you connect yellow up. Once you connect yellow up, purple cannot come underneath to connect to the right-hand side of the grid. So that cell is yellow, which means that cell is purple. That cell is purple. Don't make 4 in a row, so we've got to stop that from going any further. Now, this is doing it. Now that's orange. That might be able to. Maybe that is orange. Hang on, that's funny. Let me think about that. If that's yellow, yeah, if it's yellow, purple's bounded in, so that is orange. And now that must be purple to get purple out. And that must be purple to connect purple. That must be yellow to connect yellow. That's 3 in a row of this. So the only colour this can be is purple. We've got to have 2 yellows here. That now has to be purple, and that means those are purple. And that, is it all connected? It might be. Have I made 4 in a row? I've got no clue. Let me stare at this with some degree of skepticism and see whether we've solved the puzzle or not. We have... I really want to count the size of my 30 region as well, just to get 8, 10, 14, 16, 20. Yeah, it's 20. It's 25 at the moment. It's absolutely fine. Everything else is obviously under 99, so that's fine. Have I got 4 in a row somewhere? Don't know. What I love about this as well is you can do it totally and utterly logically. Isn't that amazing? I in the last hour I have learnt about region division of 5 regions on a square plane. And I could say something semi-intelligent about it now, but I am really looking forward to the comments on the puzzle. Let's click tick. I didn't think it was going to understand. It's built for Sudoku, and this is definitely not Sudoku. What a puzzle that is, though. It's another stone cold stunner from Christian. One of, I don't know if you can read my body language here, but I had so much pleasure solving that. It was just beautiful from start to finish. Makes you think about things in weird ways, and I'm quite relieved I got through it, given I was operating on the power of gin and tonic. So anyway, let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. Let me know what the mathematics is of this, how I could have thought about this and instantly just got to the right result. I'd be interested to know that. And thank you so much if you're still watching me after 66 minutes. And yeah, what else can I say? Nothing, I don't think. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.